Hey guys, this is Tom Cooke again. Sunday night, February 8th, 6 p.m. Dennis is playing in a championship game against Derby Guy in the SSFDL, a 24-team draft league that is run by Dennis. And he asked me if I would call the action. So here I am. I don't know this league too well at all. I think they have a pretty wide open format in terms of no formation restrictions. So you'll probably see a lot of nickel 3-3-5. They have the old double counting defense, draft league defense, where, not only, now they need to restart, which is wonderful. So whenever there's a restart and I'm calling one of these games, I have to immediately pause the broadcast and do some things. You won't hear my voice for about 2 minutes while I do that. I apologize. I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, guys, we are back and ready to start. They've reconnected. There's probably a way for me to stop the broadcast and then continue, but I need to play around with those settings. I wouldn't want to do that and then have you guys miss out. Oh, I turned off my volume. I like playing with a little bit of crowd noise. As they've gotten underway here, there was a 13-yard dump off following a touchback to start the game. I don't even know whose team is which. Dennis has Nick Foles. I know that much. So he's got Nick Foles, Adrian Peterson, Deshaun Jackson, Eric Decker, Tyke, that's Derby Guy, is going into, there you go, strap bowling with the nickel 3-3-5, handoff up the middle of Peterson against an excellent defense. These are draft league defensive cards. I believe Dennis said both teams have excellent. 2014 league. Tyke has Peyton Manning. Both of these teams supposedly had an outstanding regular season and breezed right through the playoffs from what I heard. I'm not familiar with this league. This is my first game calling this league. Here's a screen pass left, Adrian Peterson. No men in the zone. Looks like we're seeing a shadowing. And with the shadowing rule in effect, no one's covering Adrian Peterson. So on a receiver reading, that's wrong, an 8-yard gain. And then, of course, there is a pass interference penalty, which was on the offense. So Tyke accepted that, of course. Second down and 18 now for Brighton. Handoff up the middle to Peterson. Gains 5 yards, 3rd and 13. Again, I don't know these teams that well. It may take me a little while to get going with the broadcast here. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Hopefully you can see everything fine. 3rd and 13, Dennis naturally will go to a 3-wide shotgun. Mike Wallace is third receiver, defended by a 5. So Tyke even has the backup 5. I see a 4 at left end. That's going to be a pass rusher. because he had a 5 in there on the earlier downs. That's Cliff Averill, 410. And Nick Foles looking for Rob Gronkowski. Throws on defense's card, Foreman incomplete. You see those excellent cards here with Foreman in zone 2 to 6, incomplete. 7 defender vector, short gain. If you have an excellent card, you probably have a 5 or a 6 back there. Here's a deep punt from Brandon Fields from his own 30 to 52-yard reading to Tykes 2 back if he has one. He's going to field it at the 18-yard line. It's Dexter McCluster. And on the defense's card, he gets 8. On the return card, plus 8. Looks like there should be solid punt returning from McCluster. Was a touchdown on 2, plus 21 and 6, plus 14 on 9. And Dennis is giving up a generous 13 and 8 yards on 7 and 8. Although on 12, he's only giving up 3 yards. And here comes the Tokyo offense, led by Derby Guy, well known on the forum. Peyton Manning is a quarterback, 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver formation. Vontae Davis, the right tight end. Brent Selleck on the left. Josh Gordon is your wide receiver split left with veteran Anquan Bolden on the right. Andre Ellington starts the game as the lone running back. Offensive line looks strong, loaded with 5s and 6s. And it's inside a handoff to Ellington. Dennis trap ball with his own nickel 3-3-5. Ellington gains 4 yards for 2nd and 6. I am not a fan of the unlimited formations because I hate the regular use of the nickel 3-3-5, which I think is overpowered in these sets, but that's what they do in this league. A lot of guys feel differently. 2nd and 6, again, 2 tight end versus 3-3-5. I do think 3-3-5 should be allowed in most leagues against this 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver formation, which can be overpowered otherwise. Eddie Lacy checks in the game. They pitch out left, and Lacy beats Michael Bennett Jr., who's only a 4, but provides good pass rush. 6 on the white die, and that's a 7-yard gain. First down and 10 for Brighton at their own 37. 4 minutes into the SSFDL Championship game. Derby won the title last year. He's looking for a repeat. Last year was his first year in the league. Apparently he made a lot of trades. And Manning's going to be looking for Josh Gordon. Dennis is double teaming elsewhere. Receiver reading on right, incomplete on Gordon's card. And they do play with injuries, and Michael Bennett Jr. will be out for the rest of the half. I believe there is no white die 6 rule, Dennis said, for the flat passing in this league. So you'll probably see less flat passing than normal. Certainly a guy like Peyton Manning would normally do a lot of flat passing, I would think. Thank you, Dennis, for reminding me that there are single-game injuries. I can read the scroll as he's just AIMing me, but that's okay. And we have another spectator in the game. Welcome to whoever that is. 2nd down and 10 for Brighton. I need to find out the names of these teams are. But I don't want to miss a play. I don't like missing a play. Inside handoff to Ellington right. It's wide open in the defense. And again, it's a 7 for 4 yards. Both coaches have missed the short gain on their backs, who had a 6 and 8 short gain on wrong. They got a 7 reading, 4 yards for Ellington, 5 yards for Peterson. We've already seen Eddie Lacy also in the game for Tokyo. That's Dirk's team. Derby Guy's team. So he should have plenty of attempts between those two backs. He's doing 3 wide, 1 fullback. That's Marcel Reese, the renowned receiving fullback / blocking back. Roddy White's the 3rd receiver. Dennis realigns the secondary. So the 6 is on Roddy White, 0 free safety. He doubles Roddy White, but Manning is looking for Josh Gordon. Has to check off underneath, incomplete for Marcel Reese. A 9 reading on the receiver card, and Brighton will punt with Sam Martin. Good punter, does have a block on the card. They do play penalties in this league, so that means that whenever it's 4th down within 5 yards, you really should not go for the block. Too great of a risk of a penalty for a 1st down. Beyond 5 yards, you can usually go. It's even rarer that you get a type of penalty there that would bring about a 1st down. And sure enough, Dennis is going for the block. It is 4th and 6. It's a 47-yard punt from Sam Martin. It's going to be down to about the 12-yard line for Brighton, for Brighton. And oh my goodness, snake eyes for Dennis on Trindon Holloway. He's going all the way. taking it to the house. 88 yards. Trinidad Holiday. I have his name wrong. Trinidad Holiday. 88-yard punt return for a touchdown. Early first quarter. And it's 6-0. Tokyo over Brighton. So Dennis is Tokyo. Penalty, offsetting penalties on the extra point. They'll re-kick it. It's good. 7-0 Tokyo over Brighton on the 88-yard punt return. So we have some early action here. Two good teams, a big special teams play, a big interception return for a touchdown, something like that stands out even more when you have two teams that are very closely matched. Eddie Lacy checks into the game. Dennis going with a 3-4 defense now. Linebacker is 6'4", 6'6". He's got a 4 left inside linebacker. Actually, it's a 5. Handoff inside to Eddie Lacy, 1 linebacker in zone. 6 on Lacy's card is 7 yards. Sets up a 2nd and 3. So Dennis lost Michael Bennett as his right end, but he's replaced by a 5. So 5'6" Lamar Houston, now of the Chicago Bears. So I'm not sure if Bennett was in there for passing down or pitch out left to Lacy, gets right, but no man in zone. Defensive end reading on Lamar Houston, who makes a tackle. But there's a penalty holding on Brighton. That's Derby's team. Negating the play and pushing it back 10 yards. So we've got a 2nd and 13 for Brighton at their own 17, midway through the first quarter. Andre Ellington, a dangerous lone back in there. Dennis stays at 3-4. Not going to concede an easy run to Ellington. Little chess match here on this down. People know we like to run 2nd and long to try to get those short gains with an Ellington. But it's a draw play inside to Ellington, and Dennis had a linebacker in his own, and sure enough, Tyke hits a short gain on Ellington's card on a 6. And that's a 16-yard gain for a first down. Dennis blitzed, gets pass, tried to trick Tyke with his 3-4 formation. Tyke said, I'm not having it. Did a draw play, hit the short gain. Nice call by Tyke. And finally got the short gain. He had hit that 7 + 4 on Ellington a few other times. His short pass to Vernon Davis. And Manning under pressure goes down. Sacked by Tamba Hali. Hali, the blitzing linebacker, is a 12. Left guard Josh Sitton is a 7. That was a 1 of 40 sack chance, 32 on the split. And a 7-yard loss for Brighton. 2nd and 17. For Brighton at their own 26. Ellington checks in as the lone back. Nickel 3-3-5 for Dennis. Realigns his secondary. Has a free safety 0 in there now. Should probably only do that when the offense goes 3 wide. And Manning drops back to pass. He's looking deep for Andre Ellington. Defense guessing wrong. They were looking for a key. And it's a receiver reading. Ellington not quite as comfortable deep downfield as a wide receiver would be. And you see that's a receiver column filled with incompletions. 2 to 3, 11, and 12. But he avoided double teams. Incomplete. There were other good readings on Manning's card. 15 other units on Manning's card would have produced a first down or more. 3rd and 17 for Brighton at their own 26-yard line. 7-0 Tokyo here in the SSFDL Championship game. 3 wide formation, 3rd and long. Manning looking deep for Roddy White. Has to dump it off underneath. Finds a secondary receiver for a 9-yard gain. That's Marcel Reese. You can add that to the punt. 4th and 8. Here comes Sam Martin. Defense showing block. Martin gets the kickoff, 49 yards. Looks like it's going to be down to about the Tokyo 16, where the dangerous Trinidad Holiday catches it and returns it 7 yards on the opponent PR card, setting up a 1st and 10 for Tokyo at their own 23, leading 7-0 behind an 88-yard punt return for a touchdown from Trinidad Holiday earlier in the first quarter. Blocking back formation for Foles and company. It's a flat pass left, guess right, for a 5-yard gain to Rob Gronkowski. But Brighton is flagged for offsides. Tokyo accepts the penalty. 1st and 5 for Tokyo at their own 28. Adrian Peterson, the lone back. Michael Robinson, the blocking back. Gronk, Deshaun Jackson, Eric Decker, your receiving targets. Handing up the middle to Adrian Peterson. Catches a block from veteran center Nick Hardwick, who's a 5. It's an 8-yard gain on those excellent defensive cards. 1st and 10, Tokyo at their own 36. Foles drops back to pass, looking deep for Deshaun Jackson. Off target. Creates a 2nd and 10. I need to find the names of these teams. We have the Brighton River Dogs. That's Tyke's team. I'm not going to remember that. The Brighton River Dogs is Tyke's team. 2nd down and 10 for Tokyo at their own 36. Blocking back formation. Defense going nickel 3-3-5. Defense guessing run. No man in zone. Foles drops back, looks for Deshaun Jackson deep, and again, Foles off target. Jackson looked like he had a step there. It was a 7 on Foles' card on wrong. 6 receiver, 8 long gain. You've got 1, 3, 6, 11, 12 units of completion on Foles' card, and I think Deshaun Jackson is certainly maxed out on the bomb, so you could jack that up to about 15 units. Still most likely to be incomplete, but if he hits it, it's a big one. 3rd and 10 for Tokyo. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter of this championship game between Dennis Crowley and Tyke, a.k.a. Derby Guy. 3 wide, Mike Wallace, your 3rd receiver. Offense goes shotgun. Defense stays nickel 3-3-5. And Dennis with Nick Foles looking for a bomb to Eric Decker. No man in zone again. And it's a 10 on Nick Foles' card, incomplete. 7, 8, 9 must run. You can always go deep more often, I feel, with a good running quarterback because it's not as much of an all-or-nothing play. Get a must-run reading, get a few yards. Of course, that was 3rd and long, but on the earlier downs, that can help you. Brandon Fields will punt it from his own 36, and it is a booming punt. Snake eyes, 74 yards. That might have been a rouge or whatever they call it in Canada. Do they kick the ball in a rouge? I need to look that up. I'll Google that after the game. Probably not, but maybe. At some point tonight, I'll be tired, and then it'll come to me, and then I'll Google it. Tyke comes out in the 3 wide, trailing 7-0 early first quarter. Has had trouble moving the ball. Has got 1 or 2 first downs, and then won't have to punt. So he hasn't been totally shut down, but now he's going to go 3 wide. It's an inside handoff to Eddie Lacy. Defense has 1 man there. Lacy gains 3 yards on his own card. White die column in play with the 3 wide formation. That would have been a long gain from a default formation or if he had not rolled a 1 on the white die. But he did, and he was in that formation, so that's what happens. 2nd and 7, 3 wides. Roddy White, your 3rd wide. And Eddie Lacy still the lone back. Better on right to some extent than Ellington. Probably why you're seeing him in the 3 wide as opposed to Ellington. And there's another white die rule taking effect as Eddie Lacy gets 2 yards, which was the same reading, right or wrong, for the Brighton River Dogs, who are taking on the Tokyo Yokozunas. Great. I'm really going to remember that. My first time calling this game. 3rd and 5, 2 tight end formation. Manny looking for Josh Gordon. Defender X, he's covered by 5. Broken up by D'Angelo Hall. Dennis has starting corner 5s. You can't beat those guys, especially to a max receiver. Sam Martin on the punt yet again. This was a 3 and out for the River Dogs. 52-yard punt. Looks like it might have taken a bounce. It does. So it's a 57-yard total punt with no return. And the Tokyo Yokozunas will take over at their own 18. Tokyo leads 7-0, 2:42 to go in the first quarter. Hand up the middle to AP. Guessed right, 8 plus 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Dennis calling the plays very quickly. Tyke not being slow, but Dennis being very quick. Blocking back formation, nickel 3-3-5. Yet again, strap ball defense. The play action pass to Deshaun Jackson, and a receiver reading on Foles' card, and D-Jack gets a 10 for plus 16. Good yardage in that card. 2 to 3 and 11 get you a long gain or better. It's a first down for the Yokozunas at their own 37. Less than 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Dennis's Tokyo club is leading Brighton 7-0. You see Dennis has a couple of 4s on the offensive line. That's where he tends to skimp when he builds his teams, which I agree with. Play action pass to Gronk, but 4 men in zone against the strap ball defense. And it's 2. Snake guys incomplete. 2 to 6 incomplete on that defense. 2nd down and 10 for the Yokozunas. Blocking back offense, strap ball defense. Foles only 2 of 7 on the day so far. Hand up the middle to AP. There's a 6. Short gain on Peterson's card. He has that 6 and 8 short gain. A 16-yard gain. Dennis had hit the 7 plus 5 earlier. Tyke had the same experience with Andre Ellington for his team. Peterson now 5 carries for 34 yards. Tyke is going to have to respect the run. He has made some run calls. Dennis had a long pass wrong opportunity with Deshaun Jackson. That was incomplete. Screen pass left to Michael Robinson. No one in zone. Receiver reading on Foles' card. Heavy blitzing by Tyke means you got a wrong reading on Michael Robinson, the blocking back. 8 plus 13 yards. First down. The Yokozunas are in business as they try to thwart the River Dogs from claiming their second straight SSFDL Championship. 1st and 10 Tokyo at the Brighton 34. Less than 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Dennis close to field goal range. Dennis always thinking touchdown. Handoff up the middle to AP. Defense not respecting the run. AP making them pay. Shrunking in on his card again for 16 yards. Peterson now 50 yards rushing as we start the second quarter. That's on only 6 carries. His longest is only 16, so it's been good hard running from the possible Hall of Famer, depending how you feel about his recent off-the-field problems. Tokyo in the red zone. Handoff again to Peterson at the middle, gets wrong. 4 plus 6. 2nd and 4. Brighton just letting them run with Peterson. Peterson had plenty of carries, although Robert Turbin checks in. Defense going 3-4 blitz. Dennis knows that you got to save some carries every now and then, bringing the backup back on a short yardage, and your star back will last longer and be more of a threat as the game goes on. 3-4 blitz coming, showing blitz rather from Brighton. Offense going blocking back with Robert Turbin in the backfield. Dennis is a 6'7" left tackle, but the rest of that line, not the best. A couple of 5s, a 3, and a 4. That right guard 3 can be hit by a second outside linebacker. Not the greatest pass rush in the world coming from those Riverdale linebackers. Foles drops back to pass. He's looking for Eric Decker. Has to scramble, finds room, and it's a first down, 9 yards for Nick Foles on a must-run reading. Foles has 7, 8, and 9 must-run in his card. Not the greatest must-run call, but not too bad. 2 to 8 gets you 4 yards or more, and he rolled a 4 there for 9-yard gain. 1st and goal, Yokozunas at the Brighton 3-yard line. Handoff up the middle to Robert Turbin, who stopped for no gain on the dreaded 5 roll. Tokyo naturally going with the full house backfield in Stratomatic, showing going full house again. Defense showing blitz again. Foles has a great short pass wrong card, but then it's going to hand it inside to Turbin, who gets a 7 on his own card. He's dropped for a 1-yard loss. Turbin has an okay card. Nothing special, but you can use him in these situations. 3rd and goal, Dennis again going full house. Defense again showing 3-4 blitz. Deshaun Jackson, the sole receiver. Gronk, the tight end. Those are your likely targets should Dennis throw the ball. Remember, Foles has must-runs on his card. The pitch out to Peterson gets wrong. Craig Urbick makes a block, but it was only a +1 or -3. That would have been incomplete on a pass play, so no good option for Dennis there. Sean Sweezum comes out for the short field goal. 20-yard kick is good. Tokyo leads 10-0. 3 minutes into the second quarter. Here's a short kickoff from Sweezum to the 18. Not a lot of room on the return following the short kick. 13 yards for Cleveland Brown Greg Little on a 12 reading. Little has an excellent kick return card, but 7 and 12 are not going to be that great for the River Dogs. Manning drops back to pass. He's sacked again, a loose ball, and a fumble. Tokyo's ball. Calais Campbell came from left end, beat Brandon Albert on, oh my goodness, only a 1-7 sack. 7 versus a 9, gets the sack, strips Manning, falls on the ball. Tokyo's ball at the Brighton 24. Dennis has got to feel pretty good right now. Brighton needs to stop. Hold them to a field goal, claim a moral victory that you're still within 2 touchdowns. But things not going the River Dogs' way here. You get sacked on a 1-7 out of 100. Foles drops back to pass. He's under pressure. Checks off to a secondary receiver. That's a 7-yard gain, but it's another loose ball. And recovered, it looks like. That was a odd reading. 7-yard dump off to Michael Robinson, his second catch of the game. I can't tell if there was a receiver fumble there. Looks like maybe there wasn't. No, there was. It was covered by the offense. 2nd and 3. Robert Turbin, again, the lone back. Dennis conserving Adrian Peterson's carries here in the red zone and inside the 10. You wouldn't see that in the NFL, but this is Strat. You don't want to hit that fatigue too early, especially against a defense focusing solely on the pass so far. Indeed, Dennis calls a draw play for Turbin. While Ty cut linebacker in the zone, he popped to 8 on Turbin's guard, +6. Most running backs will do something for you on wrong. 1st and 10 Tokyo at the Brighton 11. 9:54 to go in the first half. Tokyo leading 10-0. Dennis wants to claim that championship. In this league, he runs. It's going to be a passing play. Foles drops back. Defender X. You're not going to have a lot of success against these Riverdog corners. Darrell Rivas is 6. Breaks that one up. Rivas Island. 2nd and 10. Defense showing blitz every time here in the red zone, which is interesting because they don't have the best pass rush in the world. Short pass to Gronkowski. Defense blitzing. Offense checks down low, and it is caught. Caught by Eric Decker underneath, and he races into the end zone. Touchdown, Tokyo. 16-0 Yokozunas. The extra point is good. Andrew Whitworth picked up Cliff Averill in the pass rushing situation, 7 on an 11 with the blitz. And that gave Foles the time he needed to check off to Eric Decker underneath, who raced into the end zone for a touchdown. Kick is down to the 10-yard line. Good return this time by LaMichael James on the opponent kick return card of number 8. 24-yard return. Gives Brighton the ball at their own 34. Down 17-0, 9 minutes to go. Tyke did not strike me as a type to panic. He goes 3 wide. Hands off right to Andre Ellington. Gets an 11 +5. 8:24 to go in the first half. Brighton would love to get something going this drive. I'm not going to say it's pivotal yet. It's still early in the ball game. Ellington 4 carries for 29 yards. 2nd and 5. Inside handoff to Eddie Lacy. 1 linebacker in zone, and that linebacker is going to make the play. Carlos Dansby on these excellent team defensive cards slams Lacy down for a 2-yard loss in the backfield. Against these excellent run cards, you lose a lot of yardage when you hit that net. There's a 6 there. You're losing yards on plays with no man in zone sometimes. 3rd down and 7. Offense goes 3 wide. Manning drops back to pass. This time fires a strike. Reading the defense beautifully. A 12-yard completion to Roddy White. Right, wrong, and double teamed. That was just a right guess, though. 1st and 10 for Brighton at their own 49 as they're moving a little bit. They go 3 wide again. Andre Ellington, the lone back. We are exactly halfway through the second quarter. Pitch out right to Ellington. Again, a man in the zone. But Tyke is fortunate this time to hit his own card. Only a 3-yard gain, but I think he'll take that in that situation when the defense has a 6 in the zone as a linebacker and you're facing these excellent run defensive cards. 2nd down and 7, Brighton at the Tokyo 48. 3 wide with Ellington again. He's been running out of this formation. This time it's a short pass to Roddy White. He's again double-teamed. 4 on the defense's card is incomplete. There's an offside call on the defense. Brighton accepts that, wiping out the incompletion. And instead of 3rd and long, they're facing a 2nd and 2 at the Tokyo 43. They need a couple of breaks to try and even out the break disparity and get back into this game. 17-0 Tokyo. 2nd and 2 for the Brighton River Dogs, coached by Derby Guy. Inside run to Eddie Lacy. Defense guesses run. 1 linebacker in zone, but Brighton has a strong, powerful offensive line. And Pro Bowler Josh Sitton makes the block, springing his NFL teammate for a 5-yard gain and a 1st down for Brighton at the Tokyo 38-yard line. That was Eddie Lacy on the carry. 6:18 to go, 3 wide offense. Strat ball defense showing blitz. And Manning's going to look up top. There is only 1 blitz coming and a free safety. Manning has time. Finally has to check down underneath. Finds a secondary receiver. That's going to be a 1st down. 10-yard completion underneath to the veteran. I can't pronounce his first name. Anquin Bolden? I can't remember now. It's Anquin, right? Anyway, he made a good play to come back to the quarterback. First and 10, 3 wide again. Inside handoff to Ellington. No linebackers in zone. Ellington pops a 6-short gain in his card, and that's a 15-yard gain for Brighton down to the Tokyo 13. The River Dogs are in business. 5 minutes to go in the half. The defending SSFDL champions, coached by Derby Guy, as he is known on the forum. In real life, we call him Tyke. Down 17-0, trying to get on the board here. 3 wide formation, Eddie Lacy the lone back. Defense going strap ball, defense showing blitz. So draw play to Lacy, but Dennis is keying him. And Lacy is hit for a 1-yard loss. The linebackers were not in that zone, but because Dennis had guessed run, the draw play becomes a keyed reading. And instead of a 3-yard gain, Lacy loses a yard, but not a bad call to do the draw. Dennis has been blitzing and calling pass. 2nd and 11, 3 wide again, defense showing blitz. Manning drops back, finds Josh Gordon, just at the sticks for a first down. 9 on Manning's card, 22 units of completion on Manning's short pass right card. You're not going to see better than that, pretty much. That's a tremendous short pass right card. Not the yardage you like, but still an excellent card. 1st and goal from the 3 for Brighton. They go full house with Ellington, Marcel Reese, and Eddie Lacy. Roddy White to lone receiver, Vontae Davis, the tight end. Offensive line was already good. Now it's even better. Play action pass. Manning looks for Roddy White in the corner. Finds him. Receiver reading. White adjusts the ball nicely. Hauls it in for the 3-yard touchdown. And the Brighton River Dogs, this is how you win a championship. You don't give up. You stick to your fundamentals. You play good football. Get a score. And see what happens. So sure enough, Brighton marches the length of the field. I think that was about a 76-yard drive. Some good runs mixed in there. Some clutch passing from Manning. And it's 17-7, a brand new ball game. They're going to kick it off to Tokyo. We have a slight break in the action. And the kick is from Dan Bailey is down to the 6-yard line. Trindon Holiday brings it out to the 28. Trindon has a snake eyes touchdown on kick returns and on punt returns. Already returned a punt, 88 yards for a touchdown. 2 big breaks led to 14 of Tokyo's 17 points. So Tyke's got to feel like if I can slow down this offense a little bit, then maybe I can be in business. Foles drives back to pass, looking for Michael Robinson, and Robinson makes the catch. River Dog left linebacker Aaron Henderson is 0. Was there an injury that I missed? I'm going to assume there was. Otherwise, you don't really have zeros running around on your defense. I didn't see that earlier, so I'm going to assume the left linebacker for Brighton is out. Then it's taking advantage. That was a defender X reading for an 11-yard completion of Michael Robinson. 1st and 10 Tokyo at their own 34. I believe that the Yokozunas won the toss, so it'll be Brighton's ball to start the second half. Inside handoff to Adrian Peterson. Barry Cofield, having none of it, makes the play on a defensive nose tackle reading. He's a 5. It's a 1-yard gain. 2nd down and 9 for the Yokozunas. They go blocking back with AP. 2:06 to go. They like to use up as much clock as possible and, of course, ideally score. Let's see how that works out for Tokyo. A lot of us do well in the 2-minute offense and strat. Well, the defense is perhaps overly concerned with the pass. But in this play, Foles is overly concerned with throwing the bomb. He's looking deep for Deshaun Jackson. Doesn't have time. That's a scramble. Is brought down at the line of scrimmage by Brighton linebacker Stephen Tulloch. That's a 0-yard gain. Technically ruled a sack. 3rd and 9, 2-minute warning. This will be interesting. Anything short of a first down, we'll see a timeout for Brighton unless it's an incomplete pass. Offense going 3 wide. This is a very big play in the game. Brighton gets the ball back here, down 10, can go into the 2-minute offense and gets the ball to start the second half. You could see a much different ball game in a matter of minutes here. Let's see what happens. 3rd and 9, offense goes 3 wide with a shotgun. Adrian Peterson, the lone back. Defense going nickel 3-3-5. It's going to be a short pass and fall to Deshaun Jackson. And Nick Foles on the money with that strong card. Fires a strike in there. 6 plus 14 on his own card. Big first down. Big first down for Tokyo. And they let the clock run down to 1:30. I don't like that call. How about hurry up offense there, Dennis? Come on. 1st and 10, Tokyo at their own 49. Blocking back with Peterson. You might see a run here. Defense going nickel 3-3-5. Sure enough, Peterson takes a handoff for the middle. 12 box scores in his card. It's a big gain. He's into the secondary. Huge gain for Adrian Peterson. 31 yards down to the Brighton 20. What a change of fortune here. A minute ago, we were talking about Brighton getting the ball back, maybe driving and scoring, and then setting up the third quarter. Now they've got to hold on and hope that Tokyo doesn't run up more points on the scoreboard here. Peterson again, the lone back. 10 carries for 89 yards in the first half for AP. Defense showing blitz every play, it seems like. But Tokyo has been undaunted. They've been throwing up top. They've been running at Peterson. A couple of passes to Michael Robinson, picking on that injury, that left linebacker. Here's a draw play to Peterson, defense keying. Dennis gets a bit of a fortunate block from left guard for Craig Urbick. So it's a 2-yard gain instead of a 2-yard loss. Again, letting the clock run. I really think guys let the clock run too much. 37 seconds left now at the 18-yard line. Why not call a timeout there? I don't understand that. Anyway, I've seen that a lot online. I disagree with what I've been seeing from some of these coaches in their last 90 seconds of the first half clock management. Saving too many timeouts for the end. 2nd down and 8 for Tokyo. And Foles is going to drop back to pass. Looks for Michael Robinson. Has to run. Foles again just gets to the line of scrimmage. Again, Stephen Tulloch making the tackle. No gain. Another sack, technically. You see, now it's 3rd and 8. If you missed the play here, you've given up 3 timeouts. They call timeout now with 30 seconds left. 3rd and 8, Brighton. Block and back formations. They might run it with Peterson. They're at the Brighton 18-yard line. Tokyo's ball. Forgive me, I think I said Brighton earlier. Tokyo's ball, 3rd and 8 at the Brighton 18-yard line. Defense going nickel, 3-3-5. They've got a 6-5-6 on the defensive line. So Dennis unlikely to hit to beat a defender there. And you've got 0-6-5 at linebacker with the injury. But you've got a safety 6 who can come up. Defense not showing blitz this time. I agree with that. I think that's a good move. A little change of pace. Maybe bring up that safety to plug the 0 or to plug the look in and prevent it's a draw play at the middle to Peterson. Gets a short gain in his card, but Stephen Tulloch, who already has 2 sacks, was not fooled, was safely playing for the run. Tackle Peterson 1 yard short of the first down. Now 4th and 1 Brighton. 4th and 1 Tokyo, rather, Dennis's team, at the Brighton 11. They should kick a field goal and make it 20-7, but Dennis loves to go for it. But against these excellent defenses, I really don't know if that's what you want to be doing. There's too many ways to get stuffed. And sure enough, Sean Sweezum trots out for what should be an easy field goal. Sure enough, he splits the uprights. It was 2-11. 28-yard kick. It's 20-0. Dennis Crowley's Tokyo, 20-7. Dennis Crowley's Tokyo Yokozunas with the lead. Right before the half here, 15 seconds to go. Crowley kicks it deep down to the 1 yard line. And Greg Little brings it out to the 19. 8 seconds to go at most, 2 plays before the half. See, Eddie Lacy looks like he might be in the backfield. He's got a long gain on 11 and off tackle and a plus 60 on 12. Now, Greg Little, that kick returner, interesting call by Dennis not to squib it. Little does not have a touchdown, but he does have a plus 86 rating on number 2, which is often pretty much about as good as a touchdown. Plus not subject to the 1-4 only or a long gain rule. You'd still rather have the touchdown, of course. Eddie Lacy in the 2-10 formation. Defense going nickel, 3-3-5. Sure enough, inside handoff to Lacy, trying to hit that 11 or 12. Trying to hit that 11 or 12 on Lacy's card. It's a 9, a 2-yard gain. I don't know if Lacy can go all the way. I don't know if they play restrictions in this league, because now it'll be the last play of the first half. A 2nd down and 8 down, and distance doesn't matter here for the Brighton River Dogs at their own 21. Although if it was 3rd or 4th, of course, you would have run containment in play, which would make anything impossible on the ground if you're trying to get a touchdown unless you're going for a big run and maybe a personal foul. I'm always praying for that when I have the ball at the end of the half in this type of situation. 3 wide for the River Dogs, led by Derby Guy. Andre Ellington, your lone back. Defense going nickel 3-3-5. Free safety is a 0 out there. Drops 2 minutes long pass. Manny looking deep downfield for Roddy White. It's on the defense's card, incomplete. Too many men in the zone. And we will go to halftime with the Tokyo Yokozunas leading the Brighton River Dogs 20-7. These men, they waste no time. They get started right away. There's a kickoff. Happened so quickly that the game is not even telling me what the result was. All I see is that Brighton has the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 43. And now there seems to be a slowdown between the coaches. But no, here we go again. Brighton is coming out in the 3 wide at their own 43. If they can score here, even a field goal on this drive, they'll still feel like they've got hope. Well, Manning drops back to pass. He's looking for Josh Gordon, man down the left sideline, and Manning just off with that throw. 7 on Manning's card is incomplete. 8 and 9 is what you're looking for. The long gain on 8, the plus 31 on 9. Have man-on-man coverage against a 5. There were no men in the long pass zone. Manning 5 of 11 for 45 yards. Brighton has been keeping it on the ground mostly. Manning did have a couple of nice clutch completions during their touchdown drive. We have seen a lot of blitzing out of Tokyo so far. Not a lot of screen passes from Brighton. Manning drops back to pass, looking for Gordon again. This time he's double-teamed, and the extra help comes in handy on a defender X reading. D'Angelo Hall had good coverage anyway, but it's, of course, automatically incomplete when you have the successful double-team. So that sets up a 3rd and 10. Brighton had a good kick return. Started at their own 43 here on their first possession of the second half. But right now they've run 2 plays and they've gone nowhere. So they could really use a big 3rd down conversion here, get into Tokyo territory, and try and get this thing moving. 3 wide, 1 fullback. Marcel Reese in the game for the River Dogs. Manning drops back to pass, looking for the veteran, Anquan Bolden, and he's got him. Complete for an 11-yard gain and a 1st down. Manning had 2 of those, 2 big 3rd down conversions, I believe, on the first drive the first successful scoring drive that Brighton had, which was in the second quarter. And you're going to need some of those to keep the chains moving at times. 1st and 10 Brighton at the Tokyo 46. 3 wide, Eddie Lacy, the lone running back. And it's a run call by the defense, but a screen pass to Roddy White with no one in zone. And he gets a 5 on Peyton Manning's card. Incomplete, guess wrong. Manning completed, I don't know what percentage last year, but you'd think you maybe can get a maxed out flat pass wrong card. I guess not, Stratomatic. 2nd down and 10 at the 46. Manning drops back to pass, looks for Ellington. Ellington successfully double-teamed and broken up. Manning had to throw it low and away with the extra defender on Ellington. Would have been a completion with single coverage. Excellent call there by Dennis Crowley. And even worse news for the River Dogs, as starting left tackle Nate Solder of 5'7", is down. He'll be out the rest of the game. And he's replaced by Tony Pascio, so 4-4. Manning drops back to pass, and he is quickly brought down, sacked by Lamar Houston. The right end, 5'6", was a 7 in this situation. 1-40 sack. He beat Pascios. It was a 3 reading. Now, if Nate Solder was in there, 7-on-7, I'm not sure there's any possibility of a sack. Certainly a very slim one. A 3 on the random, I don't know. I used to know the old charts, the Dyson card charts by heart. So, but anyway, we followed that up with a punt, the big 3rd down sack by Lamar Houston, beating the backup offensive tackle. Of course, Lamar Houston is the backup pass rusher, so backup versus backup there for Tokyo. Advantage Yokozunas that time. And then we had a good punt, 42 yards out of bounds, down to the Tokyo 9. So the Yokozunas come out here in the second half, trailing 20-7. A handoff inside to Kendall Hunter, but Barry Cofield makes the play yet again. Defensive nose tackle reading. He's a 5, white die 4. No gain for Hunter. It was Hunter's first action of the ball game. 27 Tokyo. Early third quarter. They're in their own, deep in their own territory. Second 10 from their own 9. Kendall Hunter lone back, blocking back formation. Defense going nickel 3-3-5. Draw play. Hunter on the left pops a 6-short gain in his card, and Hunter gets 15 yards and the first down out to the Tokyo 24. Breathing room, a new set of downs. Hunter does not have a bad card guessed wrong, especially on the end run. Foles drops back to pass, looks for Deshaun Jackson. Receiver on the defense, incomplete. Snake Eyes would have been plus 56. It was a 3 on Jackson. 3 and 4 incomplete. He is maxed out. And that was a short pass right, of course. Second 10, Hunter still in the game. Nickel 3-3-5. Might see a pitch out here. Although Brighton has 6s at defensive end. So maybe it is better to work inside. Plus you can do a draw there. Tough to envision a run call. Indeed, a draw play to Hunter on the inside left. Hits the box on the defense. Would have been a 5-yard gain, but it's 15 yards for Kendall Hunter. 2 15-yard runs on this drive for the backup Tokyo tailback, who now has 3 carries for 30 yards. That's the kind of production you're looking for. Hunter takes another handoff inside. This time gets a good block from the left tackle, and it's a 7-yard gain behind Cincinnati Bengal Andrew Whitworth. Whitworth is a 6'7", and he needed all of his ability that time, as it was a 6 on the white die. Second and 3. Hunter still in the game with short yardage. Maybe a little Robert Turbin, but no. Play action pass for Deshaun Jackson on the bomb. Defense is right, but no man in zone. Snake Eyes, a Nick Foles card. That's complete. A 30-yard not a touchdown. 30-yard bomb. 30-yard completion from Foles to Deshaun Jackson all the way down to the Brighton 24. And the River Dogs have got to be upset. Some good rolls coming out of Tokyo tonight. First and 10 handoff. There's a penalty on the play. It is a personal foul on the defense. Would have been a 1-yard loss on the rushing attempt by Kendall Hunter. Personal foul ushers them down to the Brighton 12-yard line. Touchdown here would be devastating. Even a field goal, you feel like you're in a tough spot now if you're Brighton. First and 10 Tokyo at the Brighton 12. Draw play inside to Kendall Hunter. Pops a short gain again in his card. Waltzes into the end zone. 12-yard touchdown for Kendall Hunter, the backup tailback. 6 carries for 48 yards. 26-7 Tokyo. Now they're going for 2. Full house backfield. Dennis thinking about going for 2, it looks like. AP and Robert Turbin, the running backs. Defense showing blitz. It's a play action pass to Deshaun Jackson. Incomplete on Nick Foles' card. So the 2-point attempt fails. And it remains 26-7. Tokyo over Brighton. Sean Sweezen with a kick down to the 12-yard line. LaMichael James, the former Oregon product, I believe, returns at 18 yards on the opponent kick return card on a 7, setting up a first and 10 at the 30 for the River Dogs, down 26-7. They need to get something going, and they need to get it going now. Inside handoff to Eddie Lacy. Defense guessing run is a man in zone, a linebacker 4. And it's a no-yard gain for Lacy. That's an 8 on the defense. Would have been at least a nice 5-yard gain, I assume, on these excellent cards. Lacy 9 carries for 23 yards. Second down and 10, River Dogs at their own 30-yard line, trailing 26-7. Inside handoff to Eddie Lacy. Defense is a man in zone. And again, linebacker in zone reading. Tampa Bay Pro Bowler Levante David snuffed it out for a 2-yard loss, even though they were guessed wrong. Now it's 3rd and 12. Manning looking for Andre Ellington, drops back. Too many men in the zone. Just look at that. 2-6 incomplete. An offsides call on the offense. No on the defense. So it would have been 4th and 12 and a punt. Instead, they get another shot at a 3rd down conversion, and they need it. They need to get going here. 3 wide, Marcel Reese, the fullback. Nickel 3-3-5 for Dennis Crowley. Derby guy has Manning drop back to pass. Looks for Vernon Davis for the first time in quite a while, and it's complete. Peyton Manning, 4-7 and 9 on his card will give you a first down if you need 10 yards or less. And that was a 12-yard completion to Davis, his first catch of the game. River Dogs at their own 45. Inside handoff to Ellington, no one there. But the white dive rule in effect from the three-wide formation means that it is a right guess on Ellington's card. He loses 2 yards. Would have been a gain, of course, on wrong. 2nd and 12, 3 wide again. Ellington again, the back. Pitch out Ellington to the right. Defensive end is a 6. And he gets an offensive tackle reading, but Brandon Albert, normally a 5, that was a white die 6 anyway. Albert pushed down to a 4 because of the 3 wide. No gain. 3rd and 12. Manning needs another big completion. Brighton at their own 43, 5:42 to go. In the third quarter, the River Dogs trailing 26-7 as they try and win consecutive championships in the SSFDL. Manning drives back to pass, looking for Roddy White. He is not double covered, but Manning this time errant, incomplete with a 10 on his card. Tyke's done a good job throwing to the non-double teamed receiver, but that time it didn't help him. Sam Martin comes out for the punt. He booms one. That's going to be down inside the Tokyo 10-yard line. Tokyo lets it bounce, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Yokozuna is leading 26-7 as they try to claim the championship here in the SSFDL. Handoff inside to Adrian Peterson. Peterson hits a double box reading, and there was no one back there. And that's a 13-yard gain for AP as he goes over 100 yards on the game. 13 carries, 111. Inside handoff to Peterson, gains 2. Now, I'll point out that Peterson has only run the ball 14 times today. Still has plenty of carries to go as there's only 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 8 against the nickel 3-3-5. AP again takes a handoff inside. This time loses a yard. He hits the dreaded 5-team fumble split on his running card wrong. And for AP on the linebacker, it's a loss of a yard. Bad enough when you get no yards on that. So it'll be 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 for Nick Foles and company at his own 34. They've hit a couple of these. To pitch out right to Peterson, there's 0 linebacker back there. Peterson gets a block from Mikey Iopati. 7-yard gain, 4th and 2 Tokyo. They'll punt it. Brandon Fields from his own 41. Kicks it nice and deep down to about the River Dog 12. Where Dexter McCluster gets under it, makes a nice move. Cuts up to about the 25, 26-yard line. And that's where Brighton will start what will probably be their final possession of the third quarter. 2:24 to go. River Dogs trailing 26-7. They need a touchdown on this drive pretty much. Inside draw to Andre Ellington. Defense looking pass. Good block there. No. Missed block by Brandon Albert. Relegates it to a 2-yard gain, and even worse, a holding penalty. Means it's 1st and 20 now for Brighton. 1st and 20, Brighton at their own 16. Pitch out to Ellington again from the 3 wide. This time Ellington pops at 8 on the defense for 4 yards. The linebacker was in his normal flat pass spot. 2nd and 16. Brighton may want to go to a regular offense if they're going to try and do some runs. This 3 wide is hurting the running game. They're looking for Josh Gordon. He's double-teamed, trying to get the big yardage. 2 men in zone, a 5 incomplete. What a wasteland, that 2-6. And then if you have a good defender, especially the 6, 2-7 and 9 becomes incomplete. Tough sledding against those excellent pass defenses, particularly with 4 men in the short pass zone. Manning only 7 of 18 on the day for 68 yards. 3rd and 16, River Dogs at their own 20. They need some magic here, maybe a penalty, maybe a dump off. They go 3 wide with Marcel Reese again. And Manning looking deep for Roddy White. There's only 1 man in zone. And receiver reading on White, but the veteran Falcon just cannot haul it in. He has 2, 3, 7, 11, and 12. It was a 9. So he had about 1, 3, 9. He had 12 units. It's not bad for Roddy White as he gets older. Here's a punt from Sam Martin yet again. A 51-yard punt. Bounces back 1 yard in Tokyo's favor. 36 seconds to go in the third quarter. Dennis Crowley's Tokyo club leading. Derby guys, Brighton River Dogs 26-7. Adrian Peterson takes a handoff in the middle. Gains 8 yards behind Nick Hardwick's bruising block. So it's 2nd and 2 as we start the fourth quarter. Robert Turbin checks in. Wise usage of Adrian Peterson's attempts. Oh, defense guesses run. Nick Foles looking deep for Deshaun Jackson. No one in the zone. Deshaun Jackson hauls it in. Nick Foles on the money. 28-yard completion. And Deshaun was celebrating, and there's a late hit on Brighton after the 28-yard bomb. Tack another 15 yards onto it. Foles goes right back to work. 12-yard completion gets wrong to Jackson. Deshaun Jackson lighting it up. 5 catches, 100 yards. And it's first to goal to 7, just like that. And Foles again wasted no time. Goes to Jackson, the third play in a row. He's wide open. Easy touchdown. Easy pitch and catch. 32-7. Extra point on the way. Up and good. 33-7 Tokyo. 1 minute into the fourth quarter. It would take a miracle at this point for a Derby guy to come back. Indeed, a user has dropped. That's a spectator fleeing the scene. Some real bad breaks early for Derby in this one. With the 88-yard punt return. And then this by Trenton Holiday in the first half. Then a sack fumble of Peyton Manning inside his own red zone. Led to, I believe, another touchdown. So it was 17-0. 14 of those points were produced in a little bit of a fluky fashion. But even after that, Tokyo just kept the pedal to the metal, running the ball well, throwing passes when they needed to, not being shy about going up top. Brighton's gone 3 wide most of this game since they trailed 17-0. Have not had a lot of success with it. Tried running from that formation. Were hit by the wide die a few times as they go 3 and out here, and Sam Martin punts. We're going to tail off on the play-by-play a little bit as the score is 33-7. Early in the fourth quarter, a fair catch by Trenton Holiday. 12 minutes to go in the Super Bowl. Tokyo leading 33-7. Tokyo goes full house. They're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, quite possibly. And that's what you do when you have a huge lead in Stratomatic and a good defense. There's no reason to throw risky passes. Oh, my goodness. Tokyo's in the full house. Defense looks pass. AP rolls snake eyes up the middle. 36-yard gain to the Brighton 24. More points forthcoming. Peterson now up to 172 yards on 20 carries. 2nd and 4. And they're just feeding Peterson on this drive. Feed the beast. He's not beast mode, but you get the idea. 3rd and 2, Robert Turbin. Gains no yards. Sean Sweezum comes out for a 33-yard field goal attempt on 4th and 2. And he misses it. Sean Sweezum shanks it. 33-7, 8:42 to go. But Brighton needs 4 touchdowns. Or 3 touchdowns, each with a 2-point conversion and a safety. No, and a field goal. I think one of them could be a non-2-point conversion, but that's all academic right now, because what we're looking at is probably the end of the season for the River Dogs. Well, it's going to be the end of the season for both teams. This is the Super Bowl, but looks like Brighton will not succeed in their quest to win consecutive SSFDL championships. But you got Eddie Lacy, you got Peyton Manning. Those are good signs for the future. .654 to go. Head up to Eddie Lacy, pops a long gain on an 11 on his card. And Lacy gains 48 yards. Forgive the lack of enthusiasm in my voice, as only 6:18 to go. And I think we know that this one is pretty much wrapped up. Hand off to Lacy down to the Tokyo 10. Creates a 2nd down and 3. Lacy again. And see, now they're going in the conventional block and back formation. I would have liked to see them do that. Went to a 17-7 or 27 and not subject themselves to the white dye negations, especially when you have Peyton Manning and Josh Gordon and Vernon Davis. Plenty of reason for Dennis to guess pass anyway. But Tyke felt differently. Won the title last year, so who am I to say? 3rd and goal from the 1, 3:54 to go. Handoff inside to Lacey. 2 men in zone. Lacey gets his own card 7. 4 yards for a touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown. Now they will not go for 2. They kick the extra point. 33-14 now. Tokyo, 3:36 to go. Brighton will probably go for the onside kick. No, they kick it deep. Perhaps conceding. First and 10 at the 18-yard line for the Yokozunas. They again go full house. They're going to run it 3 times and punt it. Why take a chance? I've unfortunately been with other people in other leagues who feel differently in these situations, but not these 2 gentlemen. 2nd and 1 for Tokyo at their own 27. Adrian Peterson, 22 carries, 183 yards. Tyke keeps guessing pass. Dennis keeps running from a full house. And Peterson just got a short gain for 14 yards. He now has 197 yards on 23 carries. I'm pretty sure he's going to hit 200. Dennis is going to keep running him to get there. There's another run with Peterson against another pass call. Peterson gained 7 yards. He's now got 204 yards on the day. 2:24 to go. 2-minute warning, rather. 33-14 Yokozunas. Come on, Tyke, call run. How about it? What do you say? He's calling pass. Peterson gains 5. Not sure what the thinking is here. Now Dennis is going to take a knee. Maybe Tyke was just conceding. He knew the game was pretty much over, down 19. I've done that myself. Other people say, oh, you got to keep fighting. But I think we've all played enough games to know when it's pretty much over. And that's what these 2 gentlemen are doing. Nick Foles takes a couple of knees. Clock runs out, and that's a ball game. The Tokyo Yokozunas. I don't know what that means, but that's the name of the team. Coached by Dennis Crowley, commissioner of the SSFDL. Defeat the defending champion Brighton River Dogs 33-14 in the SFDL Super Bowl using the 2013 card set. That's the most current one that we have. For those of you unfamiliar with how Strat works, it would be odd for you to be listening to this, but so be it. I mean, Dennis got a couple of big early breaks. 88-yard punt return for Trindon Holiday to make it 7-0 in the first quarter. When Tyke was actually moved the ball a little bit in the first quarter, Dennis was largely struggling. And then in the second quarter, you had a sack fumble of Peyton Manning in his own territory. And I believe that made it a 17-0 game. And from there on, it was really all Dennis. Coached a very fine game. Defensively, he was double teaming accurately. Tyke was going to 3 wide and trying to run. That never really got going, as the River Dogs totaled only 196 yards. That's 196 yards of total offense. Tokyo hit 431. Now, a fair amount of that was on some couple of fourth quarter drives when Tyke had maybe cashed it in, but even before that, you'd be looking at, 150-yard differential in Dennis's favor. 38 carries for 269 yards for the Yokozunas. AP 25 carries, 209 yards. Kendall Hunter, 6 carries for 48 yards off the bench. Eddie Lacy had 21 carries, 97 yards for Brighton, but a lot of that came in a fourth quarter touchdown drive in which he had a 48-yard run, and the score was already 33-7 at that point. Andre Ellington, 9 carries for 49 yards, had some success early, but really didn't seem to be able to do much rushing from the 3-wide formation. Now, there were not a lot of passes thrown in this game. 38 combined pass attempts for a modern Strat Super Bowl. That's amazing. Nick Foles was efficient, 11 of 18, 162 yards and 2 touchdowns for Tokyo. Generally working to Deshaun Jackson, who had a good game. Jackson had 6 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown. Caught a couple of bombs in the second half that were rough for Brighton, no doubt. And Peyton Manning. I had Peyton Manning in a spring league, and he had a great regular season for me last year, and then just stunk it up in the playoffs, almost as though it was the NFL. And that's what happened to Tyke tonight. Peyton Manning, 8 of 20. 8 of 20 for 69 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. And he fumbled once. He lost that fumble. The only thing he did not do was throw an interception, as there were no interceptions in the game. The only turnover was the sack fumble of Peyton Manning. That was a big play in the game. And like I said, Dennis got some early breaks, jumped out to a 17-0 lead. And after that, he just kind of steadily pulled away from Tokyo, the Tokyo offense. Well, I'm going to sign off for now. I have some things. Dennis is going to come on the hangout, but I need to go. So this is Tom. It's about 7:18 on Sunday night. A fast game, well called by both teams. That's how you get to the Super Bowl, is by calling the game well. But not in the cards for Derby Guy tonight. Congratulations to Dennis, and I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Bye-bye.